Thanks for inviting us in. It's now 11 o'clock. In less than 1 week, Hoosiers who rely on federal food assistance may not get critical dollars because of this ongoing government shutdown. It has Indiana food banks scrambling tonight to make sure that they can address the surge that we're seeing in demand. Alex Almanza explains tonight how community leaders are stepping up.
SNAP benefits won't load for more than 600,000 Hoosiers come November. Now community leaders are stepping up, hoping that doesn't mean empty plates.
At St. Vincent de Paul, Executive Director Peter Zubler says his food pantry is already operating at full capacity. The coming weeks could stretch it even further.
And so we've all been in discussions with each other about how we're going to handle the increased demand for not just food, but also for the volunteer levels of support.
To fill the gap, the United Way of Central Indiana has launched a $1 million relief fund to help major distributors like Gleaners, Midwest Food Bank, and Second Helpings.
Food is one of those basic needs. Our goal for everyone in Central Indiana is that they are living the lives they're capable of living. You can't do that if you're hungry.
For families trying to find help quickly, the Indy Hunger Network is using its Community Compass app to connect people with free meal sites and food pantries in real time.
When you go to Community Compass, you can find the information about food pantries in your area, free meal sites, places to use WIC and SNAP benefits if you have SNAP benefits left over from the previous month, and all kinds of free events.
Health experts warn that even a brief loss of SNAP benefits can have ripple effects.
Certainly going to cause a lot of stress for families that are just at the brink of balancing their budgets and look for the next installment of the benefit to be given on the first of the month.
For now, even just temporary help goes a long way.
It will help in a great deal to get through this current crisis.
City leaders say the first emergency food distribution begins this Saturday at 2 p.m. at Bethel AME Church. No ID is required. In Indianapolis, Alex Almanza, 13 News.
Now, we are seeing organizations in so many Indiana communities doing what they can to help. I want to take you to Mount Pleasant Church. This is in Greenwood. Hundreds of families visiting their Impact Center to help fill their pantries. And the people who work at this center know that number is only going to increase if this government shutdown doesn't end soon.
We're just trying to anticipate and be as prepared as we can to handle any additional people or more families that may have that need.
People rely on that food stamps, and when they ain't got no food stamps, they ain't got really nobody to turn to. So that's why everybody turns to food pantries, and this food pantry is the main one that I go to.
That is Melissa Lawson, who relies on SNAP benefits. She told us it's not just the shutdown. Rising prices across the board have made the need for food pantries even greater. Now at the Impact Center, people use points to purchase their items. Healthier options, though, have no price. Well, the Impact Center also operates a couple of other pantries here in our city. There is no restriction on who can get help. We've got lists of resources for you right now over on WTHR.com/SeenOn13. Just be sure to scan that QR code. Angela?
Scott, chilly night. We have 30s on the map already in the eastern part of the state. We're already down to 36 degrees in Richmond, 39 Kokomo, Peru, and Monticello, 43 in Indianapolis. Most of us in the range of 35 to 40 early tomorrow, so you'll need the jacket. Mix of sun and clouds in the Friday forecast. High temperatures will eventually be in the range of 55 to 60 after the cool start, again with a mix of sun and clouds tomorrow afternoon. Trick or treat forecast still looking like a treat. It'll be dry with temperatures in the 50s early evening.
Angela, thanks so much. Right now, the proposed budget for the city of Lawrence is creating a lot of conversation. Some people worry that cuts could be from the police department. We've got Logan Gay, who was inside the council meeting tonight as they talked about this issue. So Logan, break this down for us.
Well, Scott, the debate tonight was about the mayor of Lawrence's proposed budget, and it focused specifically on the general fund and exclusions of pay increases for civil employees. Some members of the Lawrence City Council say the recently passed Senate Bill 1 puts them in a bind. It saves homeowners money on property taxes, but means fewer dollars for Indiana cities like Lawrence.
We're adhering to what our state legislator is saying, and so we're tightening up and making some tough cuts.
Tough cuts that could include public safety. Currently, the Lawrence Police Department has 63 officers, but it's authorized to have 68. To save money, the police chief says the proposed budget would cut 3 officers. He says that would be a step backwards for the growing community.
So if we lose those 3 officers, I can't continue to have our officers maintain at the levels that they are doing right now. They are doing an excellent job. All of our crime trends are going down.
Councilman Terrell Giles says he agrees, and that's why the council is suggesting a compromise.
That we do 65, which would bring on 2 additional officers, and that would also have just the city too shy of its strongest strength.
Giles says currently the proposed city budget is showing a $1.5 million shortfall. He says this budget is funded with cash reserves. He fears for Lawrence's financial future if they continue to spend those reserves.
If expenditures are up and revenue is down, then something has to give, or we have to look at revenue increases.
But Chief Curtis Bigsby says they're not asking for more than what they need.
We're not saying as the police department that civilians should not get raises or people are not entitled to salary increases. What we're saying on the police department side is for us to maintain what we have now, but we also want to grow.
So the next meeting will be on Monday, November 3rd at 6:30, where the council will be making final decisions.
All right, Logan, thanks so much. New tonight at 11, leaders for IU's student newspaper just announced the university is now reversing course and allowing the Indiana Daily Student to resume its print edition. The next issue is expected November 20th. Now, the school had previously told 13 News it was shifting focus from print to digital and taking financial difficulties into account, but students called it censorship. All of this comes as a fired faculty advisor for the IDS is taking legal action. Jim Rodenbush just filed a federal lawsuit saying his dismissal violated his constitutional rights to free speech and due process. Rodenbush claims he was fired for refusing to ensure no news stories would appear in the homecoming print edition of the Indiana Daily Student earlier this month. Our partners at the Associated Press reached out to Indiana University for comment, and when we hear back, we'll pass along their response. New tonight, a listening session about redistricting here in Indiana. Hoosiers getting the chance to voice opinions on this push to redraw Indiana's congressional map. This week, Indiana Governor Mike Braun announced a special legislative sessions for state lawmakers to consider mid-decade redistricting. Tonight, people both for and against the move gathered in Martinsville. They took part in this conversation with IU Indy political science professor Laura Merrifield Wilson. Wilson moderated tonight's event, laying out why redistricting matters and how it could impact your vote. Then all the people in the attendance got to share feedback.
My belief is that this concerns or issues of redistricting are being done specifically to increase the Republican majority in our state. And while I'm a Republican, I still think that it's just wrong, that we're trying to take advantage of this current situation and trying to, in a way, tell the people of Indianapolis and Lake County that your votes really don't matter.
To have a listening session means you have to have people that are engaged and interested, both to talk but to listen as well. And I think that's exactly what you saw this evening.
Tonight's event was hosted by the group Recenter Indiana, which is a nonpartisan nonprofit. And there are 2 other events scheduled for next month, November 6th at Hornet Park Community Center in Beech Grove, and then November 13th at Geist Christian Church, which is in Fishers. Here's a look at the other stories making headlines right now. Tonight, police are sharing an update for us on a deadly stabbing near downtown Indianapolis, saying this may be a case of self-defense. This is a story we first brought you last night as breaking news. Tonight, police are telling us they discovered 2 men with stab wounds at a gas station along Kentucky Avenue. They say the suspect died. The other man was taken to the hospital in critical condition. The Johnson County Sheriff just fired a deputy accused of operating a utility terrain vehicle while intoxicated. The sheriff says investigators found the UTV crashed earlier this week near Trafalgar. Right now, the Department of Natural Resources is looking into this case. Indy leaders just broke ground on a city-funded homeless shelter. The Indianapolis Housing Hub will have 150 beds and centralized resources for people experiencing homelessness, helping them transition to long-term housing. That facility is set to open in 2027 at the corner of Georgia and Shelby Street. The Indiana National Guard just celebrated the opening of its newest facility. It's the Hamilton County Readiness Center in Atlanta, Indiana. This is a place where soldiers will live and work while on duty. The center will also be used for events and to support the local community. The Irsay family is getting ready to sell off most of Jim Irsay's incredible collection. The late Colts owner also owned hundreds of classic guitars, as well as other pieces of pop culture memorabilia and historic artifacts. The collection's been valued at more than $1 billion. We're told a portion of the proceeds will go toward philanthropy efforts close to Jim Irsay's heart. Remember, you can find all of our latest local stories anytime on our 13 News app.